and you should be reconnected and able to reconnect now. So are you ready to get uncommon, to do things differently, to shock the world and change it out? Ricky Wilson, welcome aboard. What's going on, my man? You had a very nice little thing going today. I was watching you live too. See, we've created a place where we can be connected and have our own platform and not necessarily have to give an arm and a leg and our firstborn in order to do that.
Right.
Well, our next guest is exceptional at that, and she knows how to carve her own way through and make waves. Calling yourself a rule breaker on purpose, the ultimate rule breaker. Keisha Brown is with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad to have you. And these wonderful earrings. Keisha, I just want to actually have this zoom in on you. So they can get all the good stuff. Look at that. Tearing that stuff. You told me to leave this alone, Shu, and I didn't listen to you, did I? I'm going to be a good girl at some point. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I will be. Keisha Brown joins us today. Keisha, talk about being a rule breaker and why.
All right, so hello guys, I am Keisha with uncommonchickmedia.com, and rule breaking essentially is more so about, how can you do you in the world? How can you carve out your own space and create, not just living out your dreams, but create the life that you want and deserve, right? Instead of living the should life, right?
You end up shoulding all over the place. You get shit on your face.
Oh my God.
Should is
bad.
Shit
all over the place. Yeah, I think we as women always fall into the I should work here, I should parent this way, I should run a business this way, I should do what everyone else is expecting of me to do, and we lose ourselves. And we lose in this game because then, we are not finding us in our space, and we lose that. So, we know the rules. Now let's break them. Right. The rules were there for one particular reason. Maybe they worked at one point. I don't know, but I don't see it working for us now.
Absolutely.
I think it's a change in paradigm and mind shift that we need to move forward. And do you, boo?
No, I was talking to Alice a little bit about, Eddie actually, about, what about the things that I do have to do, or I say I have to do? Yeah. I still got bills to pay. I still have children. I still have a household to run. I still have a partner to support and to take care of. All that's going on. How do you while doing you?
Okay, so here's my take on that.
Okay.
Yes, we all have those obligations that we put ourselves in. Yeah, we put ourselves in these obligations, which is fine. Those are things we have to do. We do them because we like them. We get married or we have partners or we have children. Whatever it is we need to do, we do that. However, what we do is we lose ourselves with that. So if we are always, catering to everything and everybody else, then how can we, do other people if we don't do us first? And then that's another reason why I also bring in self-care into my practice, because I know that, if we're not taking care of ourselves, we cannot take care of anybody else. And it's really, really important for us women to understand that self-care is not freaking selfish.
That's a myth. A misnomer.
It is. It really is not. And if you really think about it, saying yes to everything and everybody else says no to you, and how much more selfish can you be to yourself?
And right now we're just talking about you personally.
Yes.
So then you want to turn around and bring in a business and create a business.
Right? On top of everything else.
On top of everything else.
Yes.
Let's talk about breaking that rule.
Okay, so one, I will say this too. One is, first of all, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Okay. However, if you feel like that is for you, get the help and support you need to get started.
Like what?
Okay, so if you're starting a business and you're still working a full-time job, most of us usually do that, right? That's the case first. Well, you know what? We have to do that work-life balance, and I have air quotes over here for balance. I can, tell you what I think about balance, but that work-life balance where, yes, you have a fulfilling career that you're working on, but you also want to create some extra income. That's one thing. Or you want to just retire yourself from your job and you want to move completely to be self-employed and, work that way. So support to me means, one, getting people in your circle, right, that actually supports you. And if it's not at home, which a lot of times it may not be, I hate to say that.
It's true.
A lot of times it's not at home. You have to get it elsewhere. Another thing I like, the previous guest says that we need accountability. part of that is getting a group of people in your circle who can be your mastermind. I'm in a couple different masterminds. Love it.
You are?
Yes.
You know what?
What?
I'm just say this.
Yes.
I've been trying to get a hold of you. So wherever you are, you have just told me that you're in places. I'm going to be there.
Okay, all right.
Just so you know.
They have been tremendous for me, though.
I know.
You know, one of my mastermind sisters is in the room tonight, Miss Coach Shaquan back there.
Oh, it's real. It's on. It's good. It's done right now.
Yes. It has been extremely helpful. And people ask me all the time, how can I get into a mastermind?
But you highly recommend it.
Not necessarily.
Oh.
I think it's more so we want to bring our friends and things, and a lot of times our friends are not in the same spaces that we are, which is perfectly fine, but we just have to find the right type of people who are really going to, regardless of our feelings, regardless of where we, what we say we want and don't want, will keep us accountable to what we have going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So have some accountability, have some support.
Yes.
And be able to connect there.
Yes, that's first and foremost. Otherwise, if you don't have that, it's going to be a long journey for you.
I believe that. And it has been, actually.
Yeah.
I've been at this a while, and it has been challenging.
It will
for a very long time. Yeah. We're just starting to see our way clear. And that's really why the whole Business Trenches idea has come about, because we've been through those trenches. What's maybe some of the challenges that you faced in being uncommon and breaking the rules?
I will say that in my early 20s, and I don't want to date myself here, but in my early 20s, I remember trying to do everything because people told me in order to be successful, you have to be everywhere. And I took that to heart. I mean, okay, I have to be here. I have to go to 15,000 networking events. I have to be on 10 boards. And I did all that in my 20s, completely burned myself out. Completely, to the point where I didn't do anything for maybe like a whole year.
Oh, wow.
I just had to take a step back, do some self-reflection, and say, well, you know what? I can't be everywhere. I have all these other obligations and things I have to do. Let's take it a step at a time. So that's when I started to take a step back and say, what can I do for me? What can I do that's going to move me forward, even if it's just a little step at a time, right? Not try to be everywhere, which is also what I, tell my friends and my clients and all that. Don't try to be everywhere, because we hear that all the time. And one of the people that I follow online, love him to death, he says, be everywhere, be everywhere. And it's like, you can't be everywhere. We're only one person. A lot of us are solopreneurs. We're in business. We're starting these, businesses on our own. We don't have 10 employees and assistants and all this stuff to help us out. We cannot, and it will not, and you will burn yourself out and or stop and quit.
Right. And that's the last thing we want you to do.
Exactly.
Because that's what happens to many of us small businesses, is that we end up losing out, stopping, giving it all up in early stages and not making it over that rough terrain. So what worked? Instead of everywhere, what was the best thing to do?
The best thing to do is to figure out where you need to be. Now, that may, start with what your strengths are, right? Start where your accountability group and your support people can kind of direct you into how to figure out where you need to be. Also, just think about ways that you can put your plan together. First of all, before you do anything, and we talked about business plans earlier with our previous guest, right? Before you do anything, you have to have that plan in place.
Have to?
You have to.
Must
have. That plan should be. Now, this is one of them shoulds. I will say. That plan should be.
Yeah, get some should there. You should have some of
that should all on your face for that one.
Rub this should in. Rub it in. We should be. Am I not?
Periscope's off.
Periscope's off. Okay. That's my fault. Unless you want me to use your phone.
We get this technology together.
I know. We hook it. Word. I mean, you have to log me. I have to log in for me. Good looking out. That's right.
So once you have your plan in place, then you'll have the steps and the direction of where you need to go next.
But if I knew all of that, I wouldn't be in this dilemma, right?
Well, why don't you know all of that? Did you not get the support that you need?
Yeah, there you go. And I'm glad you brought up the support part, because one of the things that dealing with support and engaging your support is maybe taking a chance to ask people where they think. I know, it makes you vulnerable.
Yes.
What about asking the people around you where you have the greatest area of contribution? Where do they see your best? Now, that may not be with people who only see you in a shell, but those that you've engaged with who have seen your light, what do they see that may be a help to help you guide your way if you don't know where to start. There are some of us that don't know where to start.
Yeah. I actually did that exercise
Did you do
with my
that?
friends.
Wasn't it painful?
Actually, it wasn't. Okay, so there are two things that may come up for you when you do this, right?
Okay.
So I just sent an email out to some trusted girlfriends of mine and said, they answered a couple questions. 3 adjectives that you describe me as, or how, what direction do you see me in, or what field do you see me in, or because we've known each other for years, right?
Yeah.
Their answers was spot on with what I'm doing.
Wow.
So that's one way that it can go. Like, I'm on the right path. This is what other people see me as, and this is what I think I am. That's a match. However, they come back and say something completely different, then not to say that you have to do anything different, but just kind of take that as, okay, is this in alignment with what I'm actually doing? Is this something I should? I don't want to say that one. We're not shouldn't on this one.
I can choose. Is this something I can choose?
This is something that you can choose to move forward with or incorporate into what you're already doing. But the final thought to that is it helps you question where you are and what you're doing.
Sure.
So perfect question. And don't be afraid to ask. What you get back is just feedback. That's all it is.
Sure. That's a huge part of being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Ladies.
Yes,
and
ladies.
Gentlemen, this is a huge part, is that whole afraid. And this is where we get into being able to sell your product, service, or platform.
Yes.
Or presentation, and also being able to know your value. We can say, well, I don't know how to ask. And Tamiko broke it down for us.
Yes.
Tamiko Cuellar, who is a business strategist, and her business is called, we do, Pursue Your Purpose in the Marketplace. And when I said, well, how do you know what to ask for, or I'm afraid to ask for money, she said, it's not that you're afraid to ask for money. Let me go back. She said, it's not that you're afraid to ask for money. You're afraid to be told no.
Yep.
You're actually afraid to be told no to that question. And so there's no place for fear in business, and there's no place for tears in entrepreneurship.
Fearless is useless.
I love that.
Oh, fearless is useless.
That.
There will never be a lack of fear in our lives. I don't care who we are or what we do. So, I was looking at Essence magazine, and there was 2 or 3 ads, like full page ads. Even the back page of it was all about being fearless. And I understand the concept, but fearless, we will never be fearless.
Yeah, but we could fear a little less.
We can fear a little less, but
we'll always be dealing with fear. And what I say to that, and
fear.
Something that really helped me was to do it anyway.
Yes.
Do it anyway, because whatever your fear is, you won't know if it's right or wrong until you get there. And many times, 85% of the time, it is not.
95.
95? We'll take it up. I'll raise you. She'll raise me by a 95.
Yes.
So, Keisha, because you're so exceptionally good at this, can you drop some hacks for us to get through some rough terrain that that many of us as business owners and women business owners face?
Some hacks, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Break it down.
Something with duct tape.
That's right.
Duct tape always works for everything.
For everything. Matter of fact, I got some right there.
Well, let's say this.
Let's start with social media.
Okay, social media. First of all, again, it goes back to your plan. You cannot be everywhere. Do not try to be. Know what your strengths are. If you know that you can present your message best in a photo, then Instagram or Pinterest may be your best bet. Think about that, right? So if you know that you are working with more professional and career-driven people, then maybe you need to be on LinkedIn, not on Pinterest, things like that. So please understand, pick your 1 or 2 places that you can really max out. Yes. Huge. Start there, and then come back in once you build a team or once you grow bigger and you have your wares about what you're doing. Then start to add in 1 more, and then another, and then another. But until then, start with 1 or 2. Rock it out there, and then focus on what else you want to do. Otherwise,
I love that. That's very
all
huge.
over the place.
That's why I'm all up in Facebook, and I'll dabble a little bit in Instagram, and only fool around with LinkedIn for business matters. And I really slept on that because I'm more of a B2B business than I am. I mean, it's great to have clients, but I help businesses more than I am just content production.
So I need to see you on LinkedIn a little bit
more.
Then,
yes, absolutely. And you guys are welcome to submit any questions and send them through the chat there, so that we can know to answer anything specifically that you may need. Give us a hack for branding.
Oh, branding. Lovely topic, right?
That's right.
Here's what I will say about that. I mean, we could talk all day about branding, but here's one thing I will say. Be consistent with what you are doing. If it's in dealing with social media and branding and your website, be consistent across the board everywhere. I don't care if it's an image that you created in PicMonkey or Canva, which are two awesome free programs where you don't necessarily have to have, pay somebody thousands of dollars to do your graphics.
Whatever you do,
Canva.com. PicMonkey and Canva, two of my favorites. And even though I use Photoshop and Illustrator and all those big ones, I still go to Canva and PicMonkey.
right.
For the quick stuff, you know what I mean? But whatever you do, please be consistent. Don't have like some orange over here and then purple over here, and neither of those two are part of your brand colors. I see that all the time. Like, no, just be consistent.
So even down to the colors.
Even down to the colors, the fonts, your style, the way you write, the way you speak. It's all you. It's all part of your brand, whether it's personal branding or your corporate brand.
So I am not distinguishable or separate from my company. My corporate image or my corporate self is my me self. It's an extension of me.
It's exact extension of you. And a lot of people, they don't want to do that. It's like, I don't want my face to be the brand. I don't want to put out there. I don't want to, no, it has to be. Otherwise, and why would I do business with you if I don't know a face, or if I don't know, who's behind the brand, or in the very least, we need to know
who's behind the brand. Why is that important? I love you brought that up.
Okay, so stories are huge. Think about any type of thing that you've fell in love with emotionally. Like, I can remember the Dove commercials, the ones that bring me to tears. Those are ones because in 30 seconds they tell a complete story, right? So I fell in love with that brand. Not that I have to know the CEO, but I know the message, and the message is very clear and consistent in what they're behind and what they're for. So we want to make people fall in love with who we are and what we stand for, which is another thing. If you don't know what you stand for, then we got another problem.
Yeah, we do. Well, I can tell you we have fallen in love with you, Keisha. I could talk to you all day.
I know, I could talk all day.
You have music. Well, you know what? We're going to make that happen, because you do have a podcast and all kinds of ways to connect with Keisha and get informed, get sharpened, get the information you need. She is amazing in all of those areas. Keisha, tell them how they can connect and find more.
Sure. On social media, I am Uncommon Chick everywhere, right? That's the consistency.
Which is the truth.
Everywhere, Uncommon Chick. However, if you need help with social media, branding, anything like that, go to uncommonchickmedia.com. But I also have a personal lifestyle magazine, a blogazine,
right.
so to
I
speak.
Like magazines.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love to write personally, but then I like to talk to my solopreneurs, my career-driven, ambitious women, and how they can improve their growth, how they can stand out, how they can be better parents, how they can be better partners and better business owners.
Love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. Keisha Brown, Uncommon Chick.
Yes.
Let's take these notifications off. I'm going to figure out how to do that much better. Seems like nobody wants me until I go on the air. It's like that. I mean, everywhere I go.
It's your Jay. They love you.
Right. Well, I wonder if, maybe I could put that out there. Am I in the right lane? I've asked, and I feel like things have kind of, I just can't even deny it no more. It did pursue me.
Okay.
What I'm pursuing pursued me. So this is certainly
the perfect date. That's the perfect relationship right there.
Keisha Brown, thank you so much for being here with us today. Learn more at uncommonchickmedia.com.
Yes.
You still taking new clients?
I am.
Sign up. Make sure you are with her. Absolutely. Shouts out to the sisters over at Black Biz Scope, who were the inspiration for me to kind of kick it off here in St. Louis. They have utilized the Periscope platform to highlight and showcase other businesses. Many of them are women-owned businesses right here in our own means with our own opportunity, and it's proven to be very successful. Let's do the same thing here in St. Louis. All right.
Do it.
Well, let's keep it moving. Next up, I'm gonna have to share some of these wonderful ladies that are in here today. Don't even look.
They're back there trying to hide. Look,
June,
you see them?
June looking around. Well, June, you were first in the building. I'm gonna have you come over. She's shy. I'll help you with that. We're gonna have you come on over, Miss June, and keep it going. All right, who's still with us now? What did she say? Be careful. I know. I said don't mess up my rap. Yeah, see, that's the joy of that live action. For sure. Okay. Scratch, thank you.
Appreciate you.
I have ideas for more we can build on. That's yours, yes. Come on over, Miss June. Next, we're going to talk about how to, this is another woman-owned business, but how to sustain your path, how to operate at a level of excellence in order to fulfill your path. I'm joined today by June Glover, who, do I keep calling you Glover?
Who's Glover?
I'm sorry. What's your last name, June?
Well, if you're in Paris, it's Tate.
Tate. Ooh.
But since we're in St. Louis, it's Tate.
Tate. June Tate. What's on your your Facebook has Glover in it, don't it?
No.
Okay. Well, everybody forgive me for that. This is my awesome friend June, who I hope she'll still be my friend after this.
I will.
But June, you have
notification if she unfriends you.
I know, right? Don't unfriend me. June has a special gift, but she has carved, when we talk about do you while doing you, she's doing that and creating her own space in her business. But there's something very key to her business, and that is revitalizing and pouring life into people through nutrition, through healthy eating, and through healthy habits. So, June, welcome on to Business Trenches.
Thank you. Miss Shy Sister here.
Yeah, well, don't be shy. Talk a little bit about your business, and then we'll talk about some of the trenches that you've had to travel.
Okay, well, like you said, the key to my program is eating healthy, nutritious food. Because when you're healthy, then you can do better. You know, you can take care of your family and do other things that you need to do. With the way our food is being prepared now, you just don't know what you're eating. You're going to restaurants. You're going out to fast food places because you're so busy.
Because we're so busy.
Yeah. So through just vegetables and like a no-meat diet, I think our health can be a lot better. A lot of people don't know how to prepare. They think it's just all salads.
Right.
So what I do, where I come in, I show you how to prepare food.
Wonderful
that's
food.
Delicious, nutritious, even desserts. You know, so that's pretty much what I do. And
I've been able to experience firsthand also with June, and I've taken a part in her raw food class. And the cool part is that you're surprised by how many choices and how much good food there is available to you. But you showed me, and you know my dilemma, 4 children in school, husband working, all that stuff, which is the same challenge for many women.
Right.
In being able to prepare this and make it work for our busy lives.
And it's easy.
And it's easy, she says.
Yeah.
It was easy once I came to your class, and then I had to call her 20 minutes later when I got home to say, what was that again?
But I give you recipes.
But she gives us recipes.
I give you everything you need.
Absolutely.
Only 3 hours.
Absolutely.
You learn desserts, salads, entrees, and a beverage.
And a beverage.
Yeah.
Dessert, salads, entree, and a beverage. And everything I learned in just one of her classes, not only have I implemented at home, but I have people requested that I make it for them. That's right. And it has served me well in helping take care of my family members, my in-laws. It helped me with my grandmother when I was caring for her. Dr. Lex in the house. Y'all better get ready. And so I have to say that has really reshaped how we do things at home, and things that even my children can prepare.
Even children. Delicious. That did we do the pudding with the avocado in it?
Yeah, no.
We didn't do the pudding with
avocado pudding.
That's next class. Tastes just like
next class
chocolate pudding.
Yes, tell her she cannot leave. You can't leave. I need you. You gotta leave. She said I gotta leave. I didn't know.
Go first.
She should have went first. You gotta leave. Okay, call and see, because I'd love for you to share as well. That's what we're here for. So, June, can you share about your next class, how we can get connected, and to the program, to the recipes? Because I tell you what, if you're dragging and you don't have energy, you'd be surprised how much of that is tied to your nutrition. If you want to succeed in business, young lady, young entrepreneur, solopreneur, you are going to need every little bit, every ounce of extra energy and support that you can get.
And I also certify if you want to become a raw food teacher.
I do. Well, what's next on my list is to get certified. Do I have time for that?
Because you know the body is a self-healer.
Okay.
And if we feed it, it'll heal itself.
Talk about healing through your food. Let the food be thy medicine and thy medicine be your food.
Exactly.
All right, June, connect us. Y'all don't want to miss. Can I show her this?
Yes.
Yeah.
My next class is going to be in April, probably the last Sunday in April.
I would sign me up now, please.
Okay.
I certainly want to do that. How can they find you?
Raw Health at sbcglobal.net.
Raw Health at sbcglobal.net. Let me add that here in the chat. Raw Health at sbcglobal.net. Yes. I'm adding.
Or
I'm trying to add.
www.rawteacher.com/June Tate.
Let me write it down. Give it to me one more time. I know, right here. Just pass it to me. All right. So what's going to be on the menu and the?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Something that you haven't tried, so
I want
it'll
that
be
pudding.
A surprise.
That's right. Something that the children can enjoy. Thank you, June Tate.
You're welcome. And the ravioli made
That
with
was
the turnips.
Good. Turnip skins. With the ravioli.
Delicious.
It was amazing. It was so good and fresh and delicious. sbcglobal.net, raw health at sbcglobal.net, and her website is rawteacher.com/June Tate. I do want to get certified, Miss June.
Okay, we can do that.
So that we can help take this even further and have more exceptional entrepreneurs out here healing and building in this world. Here we go with the cardigan. June.
Well, this was great. Thank you.
Isn't it great? I'm just saying, this is the beginning. Matter of fact, June, actually, you said you're doing a class in April. Our next Business Trenches is a Wellness Trenches. Business Trenches will be focused on wellness in April. So we did Black History Month in February. This month is Women's History Month, so we've got the ladies' room going on right now.
That's perfect.
Be on the lookout for the wellness, health and wellness Business Trenches in April, so we'll probably have you come back.
Okay, I'll be here.
I love it. Do we keep this?
Sure.
Thank you so much, my dear. I love it. I love it. I love it. Come on over, Miss Shaquan. What you mean? Looking all funny. You can't be in the building and I don't bring you over. I'll keep it brief. You got, hey, it's live. It's live. It's live. Coach Shaquan in the house joining us today for Business Trenches. Oh my goodness, what a treat.
I love this.
I know, right? And you do it so well. And you sound glorious. What you hear is what the broadcast actually sounds like. We're going to figure out how to get these social devices on board, but we're working on that. Coach Shaquan is with us in the house today. Hello, welcome to Business Trenches.
Thank you.
Helping entrepreneurs and small businesses get over the rough terrain to achieve greater levels of success in their business. And so we do know and have come to know that having a coach makes a key difference. Talk about coaching and your business, please,
Yes, well,
for your
thank you
introduction.
for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank
You better speak up. I know you got more juice than that.
I didn't want to give everybody the oomph at
Yes,
first.
give them an oomph. Yes,
oomph.
yes. And then an extra oomph at the end.
Okay, I can do that. I can deliver that.
That's right.
So my name is Coach Shaquan. I work with couples who are missing intimacy in their marriage and relationships. Yes. And teach them a mindset strategy to help them better connect. Individually, I work with them, and then to better connect so that they can create that peace and that fulfillment and the happiness that they desire.
The mindset. That's the problem when we're missing intimacy. It's a mindset thing, huh?
Yes.
It's not the children. It's not the job.
No.
It's not the bills.
Those are symptoms. The mindset is the source.
Okay. So how much of a role do our relationships play in our overall lives and in our business?
Ooh, great question. So life is all about relationships. And relationships are defined by three things: the way you communicate, the way you connect, and the way you behave. And so from a business perspective, it's important to build healthy relationships because you have to have that continuous interaction. And then creating that healthy business relationship will then help transfer that same energy when you're taking that home from entrepreneurship to home life. So we're talking about the full circle, right?
A virtuous circle.
The virtuous circle. And one of the little things that I say is really teaching entrepreneurs and or anyone in a business or relationship how to connect from the boardroom to the bedroom.
Whoa.
Now, not from a specifically physical perspective, just how to make that transition from this is entrepreneurship, this is work, and then this is home, so that you're not crossing those relationships and treating your home as a business or a business as your home space.
I'm sure we find that challenging. What tends to make that happen?
Communication.
Oh boy, that big C word.
That big C word, and being honest and open with your partner, your spouse, about some of the challenges that you may have, and really understanding. Because to be an entrepreneur, it is challenging to speak to people who are not in that space about what it takes, to be an entrepreneur. So really having those conversations where you are able to support one another, trusting that we're on the same page, and again, just communicating that. Some of the ladies have said earlier, creating that plan. So when you're creating that business plan, it's also important to plan how you will take your intimate relationship into that as well.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's very powerful. So we're speaking specifically during Women's History Month.
Yes.
I love that cheese.
A little girl.
You do, right? Hi, Mom. Great popping matte lipstick too,
Yes,
might I
you.
say. But we are specifically addressing women and women's concerns, and so since it's a mindset, can we help our women entrepreneurs and those watching kind of in our mindset and some of the things and considerations that we have as women and what we can do to address them?
Absolutely. The first thing that comes to mind is redefine balance.
Wow.
We have a mindset about balance being equal amongst all parts. So if you think of it, I'm visual, right? So if you think of it as being on a seesaw, and to have balance means that it's even level, right? You have to have the same amount of time, if you will, and energy to make that balance. Well, in some sorts, it's impossible for me to give you the same type of energy from a business perspective and then be able to go home and give the same type of energy to my husband or my children.
For sure.
So really, I feel like as a woman, we are redefining what balance means and making sure that is it fits our life schedule, and putting yourself first, because I can't be the best entrepreneur to serve my clients, and I cannot be the best mother and the best wife to serve my family if I don't take that time to identify and really connect with self first.
Sure. Well, I've come to know that more, but actually realizing it was the biggest challenge because time doesn't stop. No. The dinner still has to get served. Their needs are still pressing.
Yes.
So being able to put yourself first, getting to that place, can you help us with actually getting to that place?
Yes. So let's see. First tips I would say is know the power of no.
Oh boy.
You like that? Know the power of no. You don't like that? But you have to practice saying it.
Okay.
And one of the things that has worked well with me is creating a list of non-negotiable that I say no to. Like, no, this doesn't fit into either my business model or my family model.
Give us an example of that.
So one of the big things from a business perspective, non-negotiable, you may not tell me who I'm not. You may not tell me that I'm not able, I'm not capable, I'm not worthy, I'm not the best fit. That you can tell me that won't deter me from continuing on my journey. Right?
We need that for ourselves.
Yeah, need that for yourself. Yes. Absolutely. When it comes to my family, my children, they are priority in a sense of their well-being. So non-negotiable is if there is a event for my child versus an event that it could be a networking event that could be important, but that time with my child is most important, and I have to give them that same attention. So when I talk about balance, no, I can't be at both places at the same time. I'm prioritizing and I'm choosing my family because that is what ultimately I'm fighting for.
Sure. But now with many women, and I don't mean to speak for everybody out there, But that's wherein lies the frustration.
Yes.
When you have to pit one against the other and they have to occupy the same space,
Yes.
I found that those cannot occupy the same
No.
space at the same time. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't.
There has to be, this is for my family.
Yes.
This is for my children, or this is from my business. When I try to do the dance and
It's tough.
it is
Yeah.
more than tough. It's heart-wrenching.
And we
especially
found this-
when business has to be your passion.
Absolutely.
You know, it's another baby,
It
so to
is.
speak. Right.
It is. And really being able to converse with your family and your kids to have that conversation about what you're doing. You know, I have small children. My sons are 8 and 4.
Right.
And they, Mommy, you going to another meeting? I'm
Right,
like,
they
yes.
get it.
So they get it, and really explaining to them why. This is the part of the grind. You know, we use real words like "mommy is grinding" right now.
I love it. Right.
And helping them to be a part of your business model in some aspect helps as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. What about with our home life? Because what goes on at home spills into other aspects of our lives. So if we're missing, says, oh man, it ended that one. So we'll come back
Okay.
to that one. Let me pop that in. I have to take it out of
But
here
the
to
other
do
thing
it.
that really happens also is whenever you borrow from Peter to pay Paul with the kids, I'll make it up to you. You never do. And
You never do.
Yes.
And it is
never
so
trust your
cold.
word.
Huge.
They'll never trust your word again.
Yep.
I'll take you skating next week. Something else comes
Yep.
up, and then it's done.
And that's that piece of priority. If I know that I have something planned for the kids and I told them that, and even though this may seem like a great opportunity and that, I have to trust that this is where I'm supposed to be and really stick to that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you know, it's okay.
It's okay.
And you will get another opportunity. And things do come back around.
They do.
But your children in that time
Yeah.
does not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, oh man, can I tell you some of the interviews I thought I was going to have, but I can't.
Yeah.
And probably the stress I put on my family in trying to make
Yeah.
that happen.
Yeah.
And I feel horrible
It is.
for that.
We call it mommy guilt.
It is
right?
such mommy guilt.
Yeah.
And mommy guilt will keep us from feeling comfortable and free and vibrant in order to share fully with our families. In order to be a great entrepreneur, you've got to be a great person.
Yes.
And a full person to give from there.
And know the power of no.
I still don't
and
get
so,
that. No, I'm kidding.
So even if we switch
I
that
do.
to a family perspective and being okay with telling your children no, you know, so that they don't either intentionally or unintentionally, even your spouse guilt you into feeling like you have to be here, you know, really creating a plan and a schedule saying, okay, so if this week, if I'm going to dedicate X amount of hours to business, then I am also going to make sure that I dedicate X amount of times, because now you got to separate that out for if you're married, for
right.
spouse and for children.
That's right. Do you have a formula? So, you know, we've got the 24 hours on the clock.
Yes.
You know, I even did it with hashtags. I'm like, well, 6 of them got to go to sleep. And, you know, an hour and a half for I mean, I broke it down
Yeah.
to that. Speaking of sleep, got to give a shout out to my partner in crime, Sean Stevenson, on book tour right now. Make sure you get this. This is a part of your success, is good quality sleep.
Ooh, I need that.
Not necessarily the hours, but the quality of sleep. And he's got several strategies, 21 listed here, but many, many, many layers in that. So it is now in bookstores.
Ooh,
The
awesome.
Power of a Dream, hard copy book, right? Number 1 on Amazon. We can help him be number 1 also in the bookstore. He's striving to be on the New York Times best-selling book list. This is how we can help it. And really, it's a book that gives back. So quality sleep is very important.
Ooh,
But
yes.
if we're looking at breaking it down, you know, I've got a grid here. So if I put the 24 hours, what's the ratio, do you think? Business to, well, let's do husband to kids. Let me get that right. Love you, Chris. Business to husband to kids to home. Is that another aspect, or does that tossed in with
That's
that?
kinda
How
tossed
would you
in.
break out a balance scale there?
My balance scale. So let me be very clear that I am consistently working on finding a balanced scale, if you will,
I bet.
that really works. Because of just how life changes and shifts and all of that, you just never know. The first thing I would say is put yourself first.
Yeah.
You know, for me, from a spiritual perspective, of course, I seek my God first, and then connect with Him there. So that's me. And then I go through and then allocate the time for business. With my kids being in school for just a typical work day, business can be broken out
while they're at school.
And then I know when the bus comes at 4:00, shuts off. Completely.
I'm on the phone.
Yes.
Okay.
And one of my girlfriends taught me that a long time ago, that when you pick your children up for the day or when they see you, make it a priority to have that one-on-one communication with them, because you spend less time, honestly, with them than you do.
That's right.
In your career.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to be able to cut it out and be okay with it, and be okay with the mind going like, I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to be in the moment. Shut it off.
But if you set that, like you said, make a plan for it.
Yes.
Like, this is how I'm planning to live.
Yes.
And build work around how you want to live.
Yes.
As opposed to the other way around.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then what else do you do? Where's the me time in your mix?
So I give myself 15 to 20 minutes a day to do something or nothing at all. And that's important to me.
Yes.
I will be very honest. This morning, when the kids got off to school, I got back in the bed and went to sleep.
Good for you.
I was tired.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had other things to do, so I gave myself a 3-hour nap.
Ooh, and you look wonderful.
Well, thank you. I need it.
It felt good. Yeah.
You have to listen to your body. The Uncommon chick spoke to us about self-care, right? And it's so important, and I'm excited. I'm actually going to purchase this.
You better get this.
Yeah, I'm going to purchase
about
that.
Relationships too.
Oh, I love it.
And how to sleep with snores.
Okay.
If that's your issue.
If no, honey. No, honey. It's just
I don't know.
Like that every night. My husband would probably say I wouldn't know he snores because I'm the one.
Because you're the one. Well, see, then we need the book.
We need the book.
But things like that, curfew with your media, and even if you started with this book, it may help you set some boundaries in other aspects of your life. Yeah.
Keyword boundaries.
Wow.
I love it. Boundaries. From my perspective, boundaries define self-control.
Okay.
And being able to say what's acceptable on this side of the line versus this side of the line. So things like sleep, water, exercise. Again, taking that 15 to 20 minute break to have to yourself, and again, choosing to do with that time whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great recommendation, and our takeaway is to have some boundaries.
Yes,
to have some boundaries as well. This keeps touching my lip gloss and sticky. You're gonna have a messy mic when I'm done. Welcome aboard, Frank Williamson, Theo Lewis, and Maurice Hamilton joining us today. Coach Shaquan, Coach Shaquan, how can they find you? Get more. Are you taking new clients?
I am taking.
We are supporting the sister's business. Very helpful for us today. Where can we find out?
Thank you. Yes, so I am all over social media at Coach Shaquan. That is SHAQUAN. Yes,
it's Shaquan.
It's Shaquan.
It's Shaquan.
My kids are like, did they do that song after you? Not quite, honey.
I would have took that. I've been like, yeah, baby. No. Right, make me cool.
Right, it make me cool.
From Salt and Pepper, shoot.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly.
Yes.
So all over social media
at Coach Shaquan.
Okay. And you're on Facebook.
I am on Facebook.
Still walking?
Yes, I am on Facebook at Coach Shaquan. My website, CoachShaquan.com. And I invite visitors to take my marriage mindset quiz on my website. It is a free quiz that tells your mind what it really thinks about marriage. Yes.
I will take that, and we'll be looking up for more. Thank you for joining us today,
for having me.
Coach.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Right. Business Trenches Live. Coach Shaquan joining us for our Women's Focus in the Ladies' Room.
Yes.
That's right, at the Grace Hill Women's Business Center. You can find out more about Grace Hill Women's Business Center at gracehillwbc.org. Let me make sure I got that right. .org. Welcome Danielle Troop. She was our parents as teachers. This is how powerful this is. Danielle Troop was our parents as teachers liaison when my babies were really tiny, and she can talk about having help and having that time. And she came in and helped us do things to get them prepared for school and enjoyed. So she was absolutely wonderful. Hey to you too, Miss Troop. Awesome, got babies of her own, helping everybody else with theirs, right?
That's a passion.
So we're going to go into more depth about being a woman and tapping into your true voice and being able to share it and express it and step out into your greatness in all of your areas. And that's even in your marriage and in your bedroom. It gets really hot and juicy coming up. But because this young lady had to go, she keeps trying to avoid the mic. Come on over here. Miss Alice Wilson, the executive director of Grace Hill Women's Business Center, had invited this lovely woman to join us today. Tell me your name again. Vivio Lopez. Let's come closer to be over here. Vivio Lopez joins us, and tell me again your specialty.
So I work with Connections to Success.
Oh, how nice.
And we are a nonprofit organization. And so the population that we serve are usually individuals that are unemployed or underemployed. Mm-hmm. And I am the regional training manager. And so I get the pleasure to work with individuals through this 4-week process in our personal and professional development class.
Yes.
And then I'm also the program coordinator for the Professional Women's Group.
How about that? Professional Women's Group, program coordinator. So there's things you teach for our women to be even more professional. I know she got the perfectly round, beautiful crown going on right here. You just don't even want it. I know, right? How wonderful. So we're focusing on women and Women's History Month. This is the ladies' room. We want to impart some things into our listeners and to our viewers that can help them get over the rough terrain.
Absolutely. So if we focus on that Professional Women's Group, this is an organization for ladies who are really at that entry level in their employment. And maybe entrepreneurs or may not, and just really looking at how can I excel in my career field. And so we really take a holistic approach with these ladies. We focus on health and wellness, financial education, leadership and civic engagement, work-life balance, you name it, written and unwritten rules in the workplace.
What falls into like the top 3 for many of us?
So I guess definitely leadership.
Sure.
And so not only do we have guest speakers come in every month and talk about those leadership skills and how do you develop them, what type of leader are you, but then we give them opportunities to lead.
Okay.
So one of the things that I'm really excited about is every year we have a community action project.
Nice.
One of the ladies will be the lead on that. And so really learning, how do I delegate? How do I create that plan, as we were talking about before, to really implement this particular project? Also looking at what's the need in the community, right? And so how do I fit in? How am I the solution to a problem that's going on right here in my community? And then she leads that and goes on that journey with her PWG sisters to support her. And it's a fantastic project because you see women grow amazingly through that time.
For sure. Especially in that leadership aspect. So I'm glad that you brought into the part about community, because men may have the same consideration or responsibility, but through women is where community change happens many times.
Absolutely.
For our families, our households, our communities, our neighborhoods. Can you speak a little bit about the things that you impart for them, since you said they're in the entry stages? What things do you impart in them to kind of get a hold of that idea and embrace that idea to step into leadership?
Okay. So number one, I think it is about really being comfortable and confident in who you are. And we've talked about that already before, right? And so when I'm comfortable with who I am, then it's easier for me to give that gift to the world. And that's how I look at it. When we're fully who we were meant to be, and then we share that with the world, that's the best thing. And so really focusing on that confidence. And then also, what is the skill set that you have? A lot of women are not aware of the skills they bring to the table, because we just do what we do.
Right.
We don't often take time to take inventory. Because we do what needs to be done to get the job done, whether that's at work, at home, in the community. And so that's another thing, is really helping them to be able to assess those skills, and then they begin to see the value that they have in themselves. And when you see the value in yourself, then you know that I can create change, whether that's in my family or in the community. And so that's one of the huge things that we do. And Jay, we have had women who have been connected with our organization for over 10 years.
Yeah, see?
Because they're just continuing to grow, continuing to exercise in their talents and God-given gifts. And, you know, and they're giving back. They're coming back for those new ladies, and they're just continuing to pour back into the organization.
I absolutely love that. Connections to Success.
Yes, ma'am.
That Vivio.
Vivio, that's correct.
I love that. Vivio. How can we find out more and get connected to the organization? And ladies, for sure. Now, it's not just for entry-level business or underemployed or unemployed, but there certainly is that resource there, and the invitation is open for ladies that are looking to get started.
That is correct. And so for those entry-level ladies, we definitely want you to connect with us. So I can be reached at V. Lopez, Lopez at connections2success.org. You can also check out our website at connections2success.org. And then particularly you can look at the Professional Women's Facebook page, which is
There we go.
Midwest Professional Women's Group.
And you're right there. If you're already on Facebook, go ahead and connect for the Midwest Professional Women's Group so you can get some more information. You were wonderful.
Thank
I want to
you.
get personal.
Okay.
How did you and when did you discover the who you were in life?
Wow. So I think it was when I made the decision to go to school. I went back as a returning student, and I was a first-generation student.
Come on.
And so I went to Florissant Valley Community College, worked on my associate's degree. And it's something about when you surround yourself around positive people. And as someone said before, allowing people to express what they see in you, because a lot of times we can't see it in ourselves.
That's true.
But someone else can speak life into you, and that's what happened. So when I was on that journey, I had a girlfriend that really, really spoke life into me. She said, I see you doing all of these things. She said, working with women and in leadership. And I was like, wow, because I couldn't see it for
How about
myself.
that? And now today, do you see it?
I see it.
Do you see
I
it?
see it.
That's
I
right.
see
And
it.
you help other women see it.
Absolutely.
Confidence is one. Take an inventory of the skill set that you have. You have skills and abilities that, you're just doing it, but it's there. And then figure out that value, because it is worth a tremendous amount. A woman's worth is what that song says. And then surround yourself with positive people. That's what RareGem Productions is about, is creating a positive environment as much as we most certainly can through media, using media to create change. And here's an example of that. And Vivio Lopez is certainly doing that there at Connections to Success. So wonderful to have met you today.
Thank you. I am
got
so
a
glad I
light
was
and spirit.
here.
I am too, and I'm sorry I took more of your time, but I'm glad
No
that you were
worries.
able to share it with us.
It was definitely well worth the wait, and I appreciate the invitation.
Yes.
And Latricia Buckner said, tell you hi.
Tricia. Yes. See, another awesome coach.
Absolutely. And she's with Connections,
Is
too.
she?
So
See?
fantastic.
Absolutely
Yes.
love it. And so we're going to be focusing on wellness in April, and I'd like to have a nonprofit organization to focus on in another month. So maybe Connections would be a good place for us to host another broadcast.
I would love it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely love it. So hold on to your seats. This is where it gets super, super, super juicy as we round the corner for the last part of our broadcast, Business Trenches Live. I was looking for my roll call sheet, but I didn't have as many folks sign up this time. So all of our usual suspects we've already run. I know, right? I've got Trike STL in the house. That's right. The cheap thrill Trike. I love Trike STL. They are a three-wheeled, lightly motor powered kind of. I'm going to let you tell me. Come do your ad, doggone it. Come do your ad, and then we'll finish in with Dr. Lex.
Oh my gosh, do I get to be on TV?
You do.
Hi.
While we take our break, and I'm going to bring Dr. Lex on, do your Trike STL promo. This is Shu, our
Hi.
engineer who makes our audio and setup happen. He is my right-hand man in our broadcast. So, Shu, tell him about your business. He's got a side gig. I'm his side gig, but he has a business.
So Trike is a way to get around town in a different, unique way. I used to do tours around the city with Segways, and decided to switch off and offer the same sort of tours. Let me, so you don't drop this here, Jade. Some sort of tours with trikes. Trikes are three-wheeled motorized vehicles. They're a lot of fun. Go to our website. You can get an idea of what it's all about. It's TrikeSTL.com. StrikeSTL.com, and we do tours of Forest Park. We do Bell Fountain Cemetery. We do a couple of downtowns, Soulard. And what's nice of being a mobile business is we're allowed to show up where you want to, whether it's a business building kind of situation, a scavenger hunt, a birthday type situation. It's a lot of fun. They started out as body-powered vehicles about 16 years ago. They've moved into the electrics, and that's where I really jumped in on it and allowed people to see the city in a different way and check out things and kind of immerse themselves and still feel like they get a whole good experience and get to enjoy seeing and learning about the city in a unique way. So that's where Trike STL is, and I'm glad that she let me come and talk about it. So as she's getting all that stuff ready, we will get the next people on, and I'm going to go set up for our last guest. So Trike STL Guided Tours is the name of the company, TRIKKE.STL.com, and that's where you can find all the information. All right.
That is an example of how you want to do your spot. So that's what a business roll call is. If you can't do it yourselves, we will do it for you. We even have produced spots that we can run for you. So come on over, Dr. Lex. This is where it gets super, super juicy because we're going to get under the surface and really get in good on the get down. That's right. Now lean in here so that we drop it on. I keep on doing that. Lord. I did. I forget it's on a clip, so I'm trying to pull the thing all far. Here we go. There's that beautiful doc. This is the doctor. This is the doctor. This is the kind of doctor you want to see. Okay? Amazing. Amazing. Ooh, did I do that? That was you? That was me?
Well, it's getting close to the turn, but it's okay.
Because I did that? Okay. All right. Business Trenches Live continues. That's right. And I am joined today. Why is that happening? Because of me? I'm so sorry. And I'm trying to get back in the frame. So since I don't need this anymore, let me just put that over here.
Yes, be in the frame.
Well, not too much because
we can see your face.
I know, right? You don't
want to see
my face.
I don't want to see your face.
To see my face. All right, a very special event coming up. Now, this is another women-owned business. What's that? I don't even need this. Okay. Now you get a tour of the business center through our telescoping. It's a new gadget. I just bought that.
It's cute.
It is so cool. So if you want one of these, it's one of this. Imagine if this was your product or this was your business. I would be promoting it right now. That's what we do on Business Trenches. It's a flexible smartphone holder. It only cost me $3.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Even better.
And it does really cool stuff. All right, welcome back, Shayna. Keith Antone Willis in the house. And he's reminded me by seeing his name about the No More Excuses Only Results tour that is happening on April 1st over where I reside at 20 South Sarah Street at CET. Starts at 6 o'clock. Look for No More Excuses Only Results tour online. And if you just connect with Keith on Facebook or even Marquita Miller, then you can get all the details for that. So if you are really trying to get to the next level in your business, that's one you don't want to miss. Welcome back aboard. Shoo, there goes TrikeSTL.com, so you can have some fun out there at Forest Park. We took the children out. It was a lot of fun.
Aww.
Right. But now we're going to have some fun with who we are. And we're talking about real fun. I interviewed this doctor, this amazing, phenomenal young lady yesterday, and she just blew me away. We are joined today by Dr. Lex Brown James, LMFT. What does that stand for?
So, hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes.
So, I am Dr. Lex. I go by Dr. Lex. Like
Dr.
Lex, like Lex Luthor, but I'm not an evil villain. Right.
To some.
To some.
They
to
don't
most.
know, right.
So, I am
Let's come closer.
sexologist.
A sexologist. Is that what the LMFT stands for?
The LMFT stands for Licensed Marriage. Legs, might.
Toes?
No. Licensed Marriage and Family Therapist.
Licensed Marriage and Family Therapist.
My license is a marriage and family therapist.
But you're a doctor of sexology.
I'm a doctor of human sexuality.
Sexuality. That was me going down the wrong road. A doctor of human sexuality. Now, what exactly does that mean?
So I study and work with human behavior around sexuality, not just what people do with their genitals,
Okay.
but what people do in their everyday lives.
There's a distinction.
There is a distinction. So I can talk about what people do with their genitals very well
Okay.
and very in depth. However, sexuality spans spirituality and biology and identity and intimacy and sensuality.
Let's talk about all that. Now, since all of it. Since you're a master of all, I understand though that we're focusing on women and women in particular. I think my children are here. Is she going down to get my babies? Yeah. So as a working mom, we do the dance.
Yes.
Welcome, Miss Payne. Oh, Coach Payne is in the house. Pain-free management, pain-free results, pain-free in your business. Oh, Payne with the Paine. You all want to look them up. She was, again, in a short period of time, just blew my mind like you did. I think that's just the norm. I'm going to be surrounded by and attracting nothing but phenomenal around me. But we're focusing on women and women specifically, and I wanted to touch on something you said in the interview, and that is about being able to use and find your voice. Can you talk about that? And then we'll also bring that back to our sexuality, because that seems to be where we run into trouble. We are defined and boxed and created these boundaries of being a woman that limit us from full expression.
Well, I'm not sure as much as we've created the box.
Oh, good.
I don't think.
Good
I think
point.
it is a function of patriarchy and a male-dominated society that has oftentimes told women how they're supposed to be.
Okay.
And then for women of color specifically, it was a survival mechanism. So it's like, how do I survive? How do I keep my family to survive? How do I keep my loved ones, my partners, the people that I go to bed with to survive? And so oftentimes we're told to be quiet. Don't use your voice. What you want doesn't really matter. It's just to take care of other people, and that's how you should live.
Right.
And so that translates into our sexuality as a large level of sexual dissatisfaction. So women aren't able to say, hey, I don't like that. Stop doing that. Put your hand there instead of here. Women don't even explore their bodies at times because they're taught that vulvas are dirty and that they're not supposed to have sexual pleasure, when in reality, women are the only ones that have an actual organ that is just for sexual pleasure. That is its only function.
Get out of here.
That's its only function.
Girl power.
And it's sometimes larger than the average size of a male penis.
Okay. And this is perfect timing for my young children to come.
It is. It's great. It is great.
We can teach them that early.
You should. You should.
You should.
You should.
She's helping me with that.
As soon as
confidence issue.
as soon as they
Go
start
ahead
talking,
and have something to drink, young people.
as soon as they start
That's
talking, you should definitely teach them all the correct terminology, because
Is that right?
it actually helps them against sexual predators.
Is that okay?
So prevention against sexual predators or trying to have any type of abuse or anything like that, children who say, no, you can't play with my choo-choo versus no, you can't play with my penis are two very, very different things.
Absolutely.
And so they know if somebody tries to aggress one of the kids that they have a safe person that they talk to, that this is a regular part, just like their nose. Right, and it
just
has a
another body
function,
part, right.
And it's not dirty, and they don't have a shame around it. So they're not looking for people to try and make them feel good about it later in life.
So let's build some more upon that, and being able to say, no, that's not what I want, or that is what I want. Many times we have a difficult time because of what we've been taught or have been conditioned, knowing what we want. How do we make sure and tap into that inner voice, and how important is that?
Oh, it's super important. It's empowering from a level. So we have to start by some self-exploration. So giving permission to explore yourself, that it's okay. And we have a lot of messages from society, from religion, from our parents, our grandparents, our cousins, that's not okay. So
And we're not talking just about physically, but physically
right. You
included.
start with self-exploration. You put yourself first. You put your feelings first. And you're like, oh, no, actually, I feel really bad trying to do this. I don't want to do it. And then you don't have to feel guilty about it afterwards or feel exhausted about it afterwards.
How do you reconcile the guilt? Because, again, we're talking about folks that are transitioning. We're talking about folks that are transitioning from a state of being. We're talking about something that we've always known and doing something different. How do I reconcile the guilt?
So guilt is from the external. Guilt is the idea that somebody's kind of pointing the finger at you, and you're like, oh, I did something wrong. Whereas shame is different. Shame is, I am wrong. So we have to figure out, one, is it shame or is it guilt?
Okay.
Right? If it's shame, that's from your own internal moral compass. You're like, I went against my own values and now I'm really ashamed that I did this thing. Guilt is from the outside society. It's like, oh, I broke some rules and some people feel bad about it. I feel bad about it. If it's guilt, you need to figure out what you're navigating to say, like, okay, what are these values here and how do I hold true to my values? Did I hold true to my values? No, maybe not. How do I come back and hold true to my values? How do I make amends for that? And then if it's shame, it's where did I get these notions from? How much do these notions guide my life? Mm-hmm. Are they guiding my life into a way that I actually want to go?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we hold on to things that aren't the best for us just because our parents had it or our big brothers had it. And we don't necessarily need it. So we need to learn how to keep what's useful and disregard what's not.
Sure. And then that goes back to self-exploration and knowing who you are and what you want and what's specific to you. Define healthy. What would healthy look like for us? Can you paint that picture?
No, that is a broad brushstroke.
Okay.
You've had some great businesses on here that talk about healthy and raw food and body consciousness and giving back to communities. So
you got all that from this broadcast. We rock. We rock.
So healthy in the way that I determine it is keeping good emotional intelligence about yourself. So being able to be in safe spaces. When I say safe spaces, I don't just mean safe from harm physically. I mean a place where you can be emotionally vulnerable and say, you know what? I can share a secret with you, or I can share my innermost values with you, and I'm not going to be shamed for it, and I'm going to be accepted for it. And I have multiple places I can do that. It might not be like 100. Right. It might not be the number of Facebook friends you have.
Yeah.
But it's a good like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And they're the relationships that are sustainable and that help sustain. Mm-hmm. You're not always giving, you're not always taking, but it's a great reciprocal process for you.
Sure. Finding those places so that, it's not Facebook, and in some places proceed with caution.
Oh, and a lot of places proceed with caution.
A lot of places proceed with caution. Finding the safe place. Tell us what you recommend.
So I definitely recommend those places where you have people who are on your same morals and values, that have the compass pointing towards the same way, right?
Yeah.
And all the time, those people might not be on the same thought processes, or they might be going through their own stuff. So being mindful of that. But if you lay something on the table and that person picks it up and takes care of it, they're like, oh man, you share that with me. That's really cool. I appreciate this. And they don't misuse it or abuse it. That's a sign that you can trust that person and keep going. So you start off with little things. You don't go like, oh yeah, this happened to me when I was 5. Maybe don't go there on the first time you're out with them. But you say, oh, this is something I'm really interested in. And you note, are they also interested in it with you? Are they not? Do they care? Do they follow up? Do they give out that phone call, or do they send that text message? Are they going to be there for you in a way that's conducive for you and for a friendship? And you start to build.
That's powerful. Start small. Use that as a gauge, and then build from there. And really, it takes, and this is something that we share with our children, it takes time to get to know a person.
It does.
It takes time to know where those spaces are. And even if you have a need and we need to be and want to feel safe, still, if you turn around and you go too fast and put it out there and discover that maybe not this isn't it, and even if you take small steps, you could discover that.
Right.
But with something smaller, then you're not likely to do the damage that has you in the place of feeling so desperate.
Exactly.
In the first place, right?
Well, that, and knowing that even breakups and cutoffs have a purpose. Right? They might hurt.
Even breakups and cutoffs
have a purpose.
Ends and so-called failures have a purpose.
They all have a purpose. They all are learning experiences, and they can hurt, and you can grieve and be sad about it. That's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, well, she said this about me, so I'm not going to be her friend no more. You're like, okay, that is your choice.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to work through the rough patches, but you get to decide that. Nobody gets to say, well, you didn't get hurt from that. Like, no. My feelings were hurt.
Yeah.
It didn't feel good.
Yeah.
You don't get to decide that I'm hurt or not.
Right. That
Right.
didn't hurt. That was nothing. They can't say that for you. Coach Shaquan said that. Define your no.
Exactly.
And then stick to that.
Exactly.
This is so powerful. This is an example of what we can do with our own platform. Oprah did hers. She called it her own. OWN. That worked out pretty neatly. RareGem Productions Network. Oprah Winfrey Network, but we have an opportunity to share in more depth where we may not have those channels through traditional means. I love radio. I love it. I work in radio, but this is another way to take it even further and bring some of that wonderful good stuff. So you have an event coming up.
I do.
I am glad you're here to share about your event.
Thank you.
Take a look at this, y'all. Tell us about your phenomenal event, because you have just blown my mind. I can't wait to be around you like more and more and more.
So it's actually called the Black Marriage Day Celebration Conference, and I noticed in relocating from Philadelphia that there wasn't a space for individuals and couples to come together to celebrate people of color in positive, loving relationships. There wasn't, and I was actually like, that's really interesting. We need to celebrate that because we don't see it.
Yeah.
Not nearly enough. We have a bunch of reality shows that talk about people of color and that show how they navigate their relationships, maybe not always in the best ways, but I just wanted to create somewhere that was like really, really safe. And so you have access to a lot of professionals. I'm going to be there.
Sweet.
I'm doing a session on erotic games. So getting out of Spencer's and trying something a little bit different from an actual sexologist.
You mean Spencer's was not it?
Spencer's was not it. You can keep playing around the bed in 80 ways. It's a fun game.
I love
it
that.
loses some of its variety after a while, but a way for you and your partner to connect. Coach Shaquan is going to be there talking about her communication skills and how to really open up with your partner, and even if you're single, how to use these skills to go forward and establish healthy relationships. We have the Christian sex maven who's going to come in and talk about how to navigate sexuality and positive sexuality from a Judeo-Christian perspective. So people that are grounded in their faith, they have a space as well. We have Afrosexology who's coming in, and they're also going to talk about how to open up that intimacy level for yourself and how to start to navigate those avenues when you don't really know where to go. You don't really know how to pick up where you left off. So it's for people all across the life course, single, parenting, right? Sometimes we get in a rut as parents, and we're just parents, and we forget that we've ever been lovers.
Right.
So it's how to reestablish this. Right. You're like, oh, man.
Who brought us these children? Where's that stork?
Take them back right now.
Come here,
right?
stork. I've got to have a word or two with you.
So all of those things that happen in relationships, we're there to talk about them and guide them.
I absolutely love this. This is going to be grand.
Yes.
Share a little bit about your background in this and your qualifications, because you know what? She knows what she's talking about, and we don't talk about this enough. And she's talking about it here on a RareGem production broadcast. Ooh.
Yes, hey, Rare.
Yes, that's right. This is a rare broadcast, but this is also an important part because your relationships and your home life spills over into the rest of your life. And if you're all pent up and not fully expressing and releasing and being who you are, it's going to impact the quality and the potential of your entrepreneurial pursuits. So tell us a little bit about your qualifications and why you are so amazing and rocking this.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I am a jack of trades, so to speak. So I have a bachelor's degree. Right. I have a bachelor's degree in physics, pre-med. So I was going to med school, and I didn't go. Instead, I went into therapy, into marriage and family therapy with a subspecialization in sexuality. And so I was doing a lot of work around trauma work, especially with people of color who have had any type of abuse or having any type of dysfunctions. And then I moved into couples work, which is where I live. I really, really enjoy working with couples. And I went on to get my doctorate in human sexuality education. So I'm a therapist and an educator. So I married those two things in my business.
Nice.
So the Institute for Sexuality and Intimacy is a place where we have sexuality coaching. We also have therapy. I develop curriculum. I used to work for the Philadelphia School District, so K through 12, delivering positive sexuality education to the kids there, trying to make sure they know all the stuff they need to know, as well as all of the support they need to have in order to not get pregnant or to be better parents or to make sure that they go to the doctors and they can advocate for themselves.
Huge areas, yes.
Working with LGBT teens who were suicidal, right? And trying to prevent them from harming themselves or cutting themselves. all that stuff is within my repertoire of work.
I love it. But your wheelhouse, where you absolutely love, is in marriage and relationships.
It is.
Especially
I love seeing
with
people in love.
I love love too.
It feels good.
I say that a lot.
And helping them get there.
Yeah.
So helping them get there. They might have fractures. You might have things in your relationship that just aren't connecting like they used
Fractures.
to.
That's a powerful analogy. Can you talk about that real quick?
I try not to say, like, I don't really like the word affairs, right? Because affair holds this heavy cloud of, you had an affair. Mm-hmm. And it always justifies one person as right and the other person as wrong. Right? And so there's no meeting ground there. We need to kind of balance. If you're the person who was cheated on, who was betrayed, you don't want that person to be groveling at your feet so much so that they're not on equal levels where you can't have healthy conversations. They're just so apologetic all the time. After a while, that gets boring. Yeah. It's like, I need you to do the work. Yeah. You can't do the work beneath me. We can't come back together beneath me because I'm not coming down to that level. So you need to come on up.
And and that's the thing. It doesn't have to be a severance.
Exactly. It's a fracture. And for some people, it's a severance, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But it can be a fracture. You can heal, and you can get back together, and you can still have a strong relationship afterwards.
That is powerful. Oh, don't you love her too?
I love her.
Please, I get excited. That's the thing. I can't do anything about it, but I'm allowing myself to be that. Yes. I get excited about what I'm doing. Yes, being who and what I am. Send out the invitation again, please, good doctor, for this awesome conference.
So I'm Dr. Lex. We're having the Black Marriage Day Conference celebration at Harris-Stowe University, the historic HBCU, on March 26th from 9 to 12.
Yes. And so there was one thing I did want you to also talk about too, and that is loving and appreciating yourself for who you are. You spoke about that in the interview and about how you made a decision. Yes. Well, I'm not going to be this, even though I'm that.
Right. So in my pre-med days, right, after I finished all the work and I went to do reconstructive surgery, and I really wanted to work with people around getting their bodies to what they thought they were going to be. And I decided that I actually want to make people love themselves inside out rather than outside in. And I live in a society that consistently tells me that I'm ugly, right? So I am a woman of African descent. I am heavy set, and I have natural hair. So
I'm going to have you say that one more time because for some reason somebody called me. All right, one more time.
So in a society I'm in a society that usually tries to tell me that I'm ugly and I'm not attractive, and I am heavier set, and I have a curvier body, and I have natural hair, and I'm a woman of African descent. So therefore I am not supposed to be pretty or supposed to like myself. I'm supposed to be blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and very tall and very thin. And I couldn't put people in that box. I was like, it doesn't feel good for me to try and do that, to try and force people there. I love this in you. What do you love about you? Yeah. And I wanted to help people bring that out, that everybody is valuable just because you exist.
Yes.
Just because you're here.
I love that. Dr. Lex Brown James, who is a doctor, PhD. This baby got a PhD. When I say baby for real, she ain't even hit 30 yet.
Black don't crack. Black don't crack. Don't play with me. You see my grandma.
She's still a youngin'. But yeah, identify and figure out what it is about you that you love. Learn to love who you are, and you can flourish in whatever you decide to do. Yeah, whatever you decide to do. This is an awesome picture, right?
Yes, it is.
Let me move this out of my face. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in for Business Trenches Live right here from the Grace Hill Women's Business Center. Hey, that's right. They are getting these things are getting done over there.
Getting some consultants,
business, right? I'm going to get in that circle. Me too. Make sure you join us in April for the Wellness Trenches, which will be talking about wealth through health and your physical wellness. And we will keep posting. In the meantime, look for the podcast. Please spread the word that Business Trenches is a way to strategically support, build, and share who we are, our platforms, our products, and services right here in St. Louis. With RareGem Productions, you can listen, learn, and enjoy more at OneRareGem.com. That's OneRareGem.com. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Don't forget, get to this conference.
Bill took it.
Give me the card, Bill. Make it easy for me to get it. Black Marriage Day Conference, March 26th. Be there or be square. Your relationship can be much more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Full and fulfilling. Be there. This is for all of us. Huh?
It's also in the notes.
And it's also in the notes, in the show notes. We love you. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you again next time. Take care, y'all.
It's on this one?
It's on this